Some people have learned how to buy, sell, and ship goods on eBay, kind of like a second business. If you're looking how to get started in selling and shipping goods on eBay, or maybe you just need to know how to ship something for the first time on eBay, this is not the right place for you. Because this is eBay for beginners, shipping big things the wrong way. On my channel, Redirection, I like to talk to entrepreneurs and basically about business. It's something that I'm very interested in. And if you're getting ready to start a business, you need to know what it is that you want to do. And oftentimes you have to do that through a process of elimination. Well, let me tell you how I eliminated selling things on eBay as a business that I want to do. You know how I did it? The very first thing I sold on eBay ever in my life was a sleep number bed, king size, with absolutely no planning. Now let me explain the size of this bed. It was the C2 adjustable base sleep number bed, king size. It was huge. I'm 6'3" and I had room to spare on this beast. The king size C2 model sleep number bed features a mattress that is truly fit for a king. There is plenty of room for two people to sleep comfortably. The mattress cover design is pleasant to behold and carries a smooth texture. The bilateral bladders allows for independent firmness control so each individual can adjust their side to their desired setting. However, I found that the actual comfort of the mattress left a lot to be desired, as there is not much in the way of needed cushion, which made it seem like you're laying on a plain inflatable bed with cloth on it. The adjustable base was a nice to have on occasion when I wanted to sip a bit of tea before bed. Now when I bought this bed, I bought it back in 2014 for roughly $3,100. When I started this sell it endeavor, because it was just too big and I wanted to downsize, I wanted something that wasn't quite that large, I decided to go to a sleep number store and ask the salesperson, how should I price this? The sales guy said, start high, so as the bidding starts and it starts to decrease, you will make more than you intentionally planned for. Start high, price it high, so as the bidding gets lower, you will make more than you had actually planned on selling for. No. Start high, price it high, so that way, when the bidding starts, you won't lose so much money on the bid. So I decided to price it at $2,000. Now I actually did not think it would sell at $2,000, and I actually didn't think it would sell at all because it's a used bed. However, to my surprise, one day I was sitting outside, and I think it was the MLK parade, and my phone went off. And I looked down at my phone, and somebody had actually not just inquired about the bed, they paid for the bed. Now this was a couple of weeks after I posted the ad on eBay to actually sell the bed. And so it had decreased in price from $2,000 to roughly about 13 something or other through the automatic decrease pricing thing that eBay has. So what this thing does, it slowly decreases the price over time if no one bids on the bed. Well, since this person paid outright, time to go. So in order to get started with putting on eBay, the first thing I did was I took some banging pictures of the bed. Ooh, nice. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. So if you're going to ship something that large, you probably need to have some good pictures of the item, because you want people to get a good look at it and market it, make it look pretty. Now, of course, I've got lights and stuff and not the greatest cameras, but it did the trick. So I posted a picture and created the ad for the bed, and I also threw in $75 for shipping of this beastly bed. Keep in mind, this thing had to weigh close to 300 pounds. So even though I priced the bed for $2,000, it eventually sold for $1,380. That's, of course, minus the $75 for shipping. Now at this point, it's game on, because eBay has this 3-day shipping thing in which you need to get it in the mail within that time frame. So I had to figure out, once again, no planning, I had to figure out how to get this monster shipped. So that same day, I went to a UPS store and just asked the young lady, hey, how would I ship something this size? She said, well, you would have to do it in freight, and then we'd have to break it down and weigh it and all this other stuff. But I don't know what I'm doing. So what you need to do is wait for my manager tomorrow morning. That was not going to work. So knowing that I can ship it UPS freight as opposed to United States Postal Service for $75, I went home and got online and started researching UPS freight. That's where I found all this fantastic information on how to ship, break down, and measure and weigh the bed. That was the first step, which was a total beast. Because the next big part of this was I had to break this monster down in order to measure it and to weigh it. So as I broke it down, I actually took pictures of the bed because I wanted to send them to the buyer. Not even knowing I was going to make this video, but hey, here we are. Now, after I broke this monster down, I actually weighed the bed. You want to see how I did it? It's pretty neat. First, I stood on a scale and weighed myself. Don't judge me. It's right after the holidays. And then I grabbed that article, whatever it was, the rail, there were some other big boards that went on the bed, and I stood on the scale, and then I subtracted my weight from the weight of me holding that item. Now I'm actually a larger guy, so I have longer wingspan and I can hold stuff that's bigger. And then that's how I came up with the weight of the item. Wrote that information down, and then the next thing I did was I actually measured the article. So I measured all the long parts, and I was able to write down all of the length and the width and the height, and I put stuff double stacked and turned it sideways, and I got all these measurements, wrote them down. Next thing I did was I actually called a different UPS store. This is the same night because I needed to get this thing in the mail the next day. I called another UPS store, and they said, hey, if you want to ship this, no problem, bring it tomorrow, let's give you a price, which was fantastic. So the lady asked me, do you have some dimensions of the actual bed that you're shipping? I said, yes ma'am, I do. So I pulled out my paper and started reading to her the length of the rails, the width of the bed bottom thing, and the weight of all the big pieces, of course not the screws and the bolts and all that other stuff. And then gave that to her. And then she went into her little computer and she did some typing. And she came up with a price, roughly $380. Now believe it or not, that's about what I had expected. It'd be between $400 and $500. I know that seems crazy, but that whole decreased price thing that eBay had, it actually played in my favor because I had a number in my head of the next bed I wanted to buy, because once I got rid of this bed, I would be sleeping on the floor. So that number in my head had me price it out just right, even though I hadn't planned on it. And so the lady said, yeah, it'd be about $380. So I packed it up in my car, and the next morning I was at that UPS at 7:30 in the morning, cold as I don't know what. So when I get there, lady's right there, she's ready. She says, here, take this cart and unload everything. And I started unloading stuff, and she started measuring and counting and looking over a counter, and then come back and typing something in the computer and look over, and kept on working, and we just worked really good as a team. She was a great team player. Once she got done, it took about 30 minutes, she came back with a weight of about 400 pounds. Now that wasn't just my stuff, that was including what it would be on the freight. She said it would be $477. Once again, I had already priced between $400 and $500, so I wasn't too shocked. It was still within the range of what I needed to buy a bed. Don't forget, I'd be sleeping on the floor. Now, it didn't necessarily complete after that. Keep in mind, eBay said the money had already been paid to my PayPal because I linked the two together while I was setting up my eBay account. So I knew that was probably where the money would have to go. And so the money was in the account, but keep this in mind, PayPal will hold on to your money for at least $21. PayPal will hold on to your money for at least 21 days after the item has sold because they want to make sure it ships. You also are able to tie in the shipping to PayPal and eBay. So I needed this to ship in order for me to get paid. Now, as I said, this wasn't necessarily the end of the whole, let's call it a travesty. Because I called them the next day after I put it in there, and I kept in touch with them, and they said that the truck driver had not arrived to pick it up by the end of the day. So I called them the next day, and the truck driver was supposed to be there. And they said, well, he should be here later on in the day. Called him later on in the day. He's not here yet. Called them later on in the day. Well, we weren't able to finish it off because he didn't show up. Third day, called him back saying, well, he should be here later on in the day. We'll send you an email once we get it shipped. Now, it took them basically 2 days to get it loaded and for the freight guy to get there. Once he gets there, they load it up, I guess. And then I get an email from them with the shipping tracking ID for UPS. I took that information and loaded it into eBay so that it can funnel into my PayPal. Now, once I did that, do you know what happened? Do you know what happened the next day? PayPal funded my money, and so I could stop sleeping on the floor. We still aren't done yet, because I thought all was fine and good. I'd been paid, the stuff was on its way. Once it got there, I guess, to the customer, I checked my shipping stuff and it said that it had been delivered to the customer, heard nothing else from them, sent them all the pictures of how to do what it needed to do to put it back together. I was looking in my eBay inbox and I saw that there was this charge in there for $142. Apparently, eBay charges somewhere around 10% for using them to sell and ship your stuff. I did not know that. So now, let's do some addition. Let's see. We sold this roughly for $14.50. Subtract $4.77, and then eBay's $142. What do you get? So I lost somewhere close to a half of what the bed sold for in shipping, taxes, and handling. But that's okay, because I still was able to buy my bed. And that's all I really cared about. So, if you're thinking about starting an eBay business or side hustle where you sell big stuff and ship it, make sure you do this little bitty thing called plan ahead. Once again, this has been eBay for Beginners, shipping big things the wrong way.